peaches. Hello sewing friends, Shawnee's here, and I have, as I'm getting myself together down here, I have a quick tutorial on increasing your bust and the waist, and in this instance the hips should follow. So I have here a pattern. It's an independent pattern, so it's not something that you can purchase, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to adjust two places at the, not at the same time, but consecutively. Okay, so let me get my stuff together. So what I have here is a it's a trench coat with raglan sleeves. So up there by the, here by the shoulders, it might look a little bit different. And so on here, the first thing that I see is that I am pretty sure that this line right here is going to be my center front. So what I did was I measured my bust circumference. I also used my sloper, and then I measured my waist circumference. And the first thing I needed to do, and this is what I talk about, you need to get those vertical measurements. So from my neck, I measured down and found my bust line, and then I found my waistline, and it just so happened that where I taped these two together kind of just worked itself out. I take the full bust circumference, then I take the quarter circumference for the front and a quarter circumference from the back, and from that I found that this bust, because I always cut my patterns, I always select the pattern that matches my bust, that's closest to my bust, and this was, but because this is a jacket, I wanted to make sure that I had some ease, so I wanted to add a couple inches onto it. And so once I measured it, there's some ease in here. I wish the pattern would say how much ease was in there, then I wouldn't have to measure all this. But at the end of the day, I wanted to add 1 inch to the bust measurement, and at the waist I wanted to add 5 inches. Don't judge me. So the first thing I did is I grabbed my paper here, and then I took my pattern. So this is the front pattern, and I laid the pattern down, and I'm positioning it. So you don't have to position it when you lay it down, but I already did it. So what I did was I marked up here where the underarm is going to be. So this is the underarm. And then I kind of marked over here where my bust start was. And I drew some lines all the way down to the bottom to indicate that this, see these marks here? This is where my original pattern lies. And then up here at the bust, to get some more wear, like this, I said I wanted to add a 1/2 inch. So at the bust line right here, I measured out a quarter. Not a quarter, because I want to add 1 inch to the bust. And so you remember you got 4 seams, so that means you have to take what you want to add, which is 1, divided by 4, and then I got a quarter. So I measured out a quarter here at the bust, and then at the waist I want to add 5 inches. So 5 inches divided by 4 is 1 inch and a quarter. So I measured out 1 inch and a quarter here from my waist. Now, to get this change marked, to get the actual drawing, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bust. And so I gotta get this, I gotta slide this down. So up here is the underarm, and I want to, right here, so I'm going to put it back in its original spot, which is right here. So here's the underarm. So I'm taking my bust out 1/2 inch. So this is called the pivot method. So at the intersection of my seam allowance, I'm going to put a pin. And I wish my pin would stay, but you need cardboard for that. And now I'm going to take my garment and I'm going to pivot it to 1/4 inch. Right there. Now I'm going to redraw my side seam. Oops. I'm going to go about that far. And so now when I take this back, so there's the new side seam. And if I take this back to where we originally started, it was right there. So automatic, so you can see right here, I've just added 1/4 inch to this seam. Okay. And that's going to add 1/4 inch to all 4 pieces, which is going to give me my inch. So now I'm going to go back to that mark, and now I'm going to put this pin where my bust is, and now I'm going to pivot out to this line. But first I need to slide this so that it's all in camera. So now I'm going to go back to the new shoulder seam, which is right here, making sure that this is back where it's supposed to be. Everything lined up. Now I'm going to pivot here at the bust. Now I'm going to pivot this out. Wait a minute, should I do this line or that line? I'm going to do this line right here. This is the top of the bust. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pivot this over to that 1 1/4 inches. Let me get my folds out the way. There I go. So now I'm at this line. Now I'm going to start up here at the underarm. I'm going to trace this down. And if you need to, you can use a ruler to make sure that your line is straight. So I'm actually, you probably can't see it, but I'm going out all the way down to the hem. And then an inch or so underneath the hem. And then I'm going to mark any notches that I need here. So now I'm going to take my pattern back to the original position, which is right here. Get it right there. So down here, this is adding a lot to the hem, and I do not want this. I do not want this extra fabric down here. So I have the pattern sideways so that I can kind of show you what's going on with this entire piece. I'm going to move this so it doesn't get in the way. Okay. So here is the original pattern, was right here. I'm going to grab a pin. So we pivoted out for the bust, and then I pivoted out for the waist right here. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to hold this here. I'm going to go out to the waist, right here. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to go back to my original position somewhat without giving it too much. Let me see that. Yeah, right there. So that goes here. And what I'm doing right here is I just want to, I'm just going to put a dotted line to see what this gives me. Because I'm not the fitting guru, but I do like to test and see where things are. So this is from here. So now I'm going to take this away and I'm going to have a look at what I got. So what I have here is this kind of coming here and going down. It's probably not where I want to be, because now if I put this in this original spot, and go back to here, and this is where I'm at going to be for the waist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up. I don't want all this excess. I feel like I shouldn't. I don't want all that excess. So I'm going to take, but this is where I'm going to be. But I'm going to go ahead and put it at the waistline. Okay, that's what I'm doing. So before I was pivoting, let me back up some. So before I was here, and then I pivoted from the bust line, and I pivoted to the waistline, and I redrew the hem. So I should come out here, so then come down and connect. So I came out here at the bust, and then down here I'm connecting this to the waist. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to my original position. For the bust, now I'm going back to the original position for the underarm. So now I'm here. So now we're back in position 1. And now I'm going to pivot this till I get to the waist so I can draw the rest. So now I'm coming down here to the waist, just like that. And here is the new bottom piece. That's the way it goes. I'm going to put my notches in there. That's there. Okay, let's see where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. So I'm just going to rough cut it down so I can get rid of this roll of paper. Now I'm going to cut this off, so I don't need all this. I'll keep it sideways so that you can see it. So now I'm going to paste this in its final spot, matching here. So this goes back to the original spot right here. Now I tape. Everything is flat. It's not laying flat. Oh, I got a bubble under here. So I'll start at the bottom and work my way down. Because this paper and the pattern has to become one now. It's one piece. And this is a way that you alter your pattern, but also keep it intact in case you have to make changes later down the road. So here is the bottom. And not only do I have to do the front, but I have to do the back because you don't want something lifting this up. I hope I have enough tape. Should have picked some up today. So starting at the top, I'm going to cut off everything I don't need. So I don't need this area right here. Cut that off. So this is going to be my underarm seam. So now we are going to add, I'm cutting because I'm adding to the bust area. So right there where that brown is, that's the addition. Now I'm going to cut into my dart. And now I'm going to make sure that I look right here. Making sure, not because I got these two lines coming. So now I'm going, oh, I gotta, before I go, I need to put in my dart. And my notches. There we go. Oh, I got the wrong area. Where's it at? There we go. Down here, gotta put my notches back in there. And then I have to finish off this seam. I want to cut this much off too at the bottom. And that is my adjustment for the first part. Now I'm going to walk my new seams. So from there, so this is where I added that 5 inches. Now I'm going to, so I do need to close this up a little bit. So I like working with tissue paper. So I'm going to close this up like that. And then I have a little jog right here. So I'm going to line this up. What's the best way to get this? Because I need to get rid of this little jog here. So now my side seam is pretty straight. So I need this to stay in, so I will pin it. See if I can get through all this paper. There we go. Now I'm going to walk my seams from the bottom and up. So here I go here, matching. matching, 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 matching. Let's do that again. Just walking my seams, matching. So I'm going to make sure that my notches are in the same. You know, I'm going to add a notch right here. You can add notches wherever you want, because then I have another notch right here. Okay, now I'm walking up, walking up, walking up, and here, so I have this little jog right here, right here. I have this little jog here, and I got a jog there. So what I need to do, first I need to weight this down. And normally I should have tissue paper, but tissue paper and paper is worse than tissue paper and craft paper. So I'm going to tape this on here. Yes, I'm adding crazy paper tape everywhere. So now I need to turn this so it's at the bottom, and I'm going to start here at my notch, and I'm going to walk this right here. So this paper at the top is my final paper. This right here, this is my final paper. So now I'm going to trace. So trace that. And my scissors, right here. Waist, consequently hip for my trench coat. There's that. So if I put them side by side, there it is. So I am going to cut these two pieces in muslin. I'm not going to put anything together because I'm pretty comfortable with this. But I just want to make sure that I still have the room that I need up here. And I want to make sure that this area down here doesn't become too flared. Because if it does, if it's too much, what I can do is I can put my pieces on top right here, and instead of having all this, I can, as long as I have my 1.25 inches at the top, it will actually be taking, so like about wherever my waist is, my waist would be, where's my waist at? My waist is, my waist is right here. So my waist is right here, where this, the bottom of this is. And so from this area, you know, I'll probably be able to take off. Oof, it's tough. It really doesn't look like I could take off. If I'm going to keep this position, this spacing right here, keep these changes here, then I have to bring this all the way down. Otherwise my dress will be, or my jacket will start here and go down instead of flare out like the vintage look that it is. Okay, I hope that was helpful. in this week's video. So I have the two, I don't know if you can see this off to the side, but this is the facing. So there's no changes have to be made to the facing, because the facing goes to the front. So let me put this out. So the facing for a trench coat, this is a raglan sleeve, so this facing would go right like this. Let me push it, pause right there. And then I believe that this goes over the shoulder like that. I'm looking forward to making it. All right, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. Happy sewing and